The basement dweller, that rare breed of human existence whose natural habitat lies deep beneath the floorboards of society. Nestled in his subterranean cavern, far from the troublesome rays of the sun and the horrors of human interaction, this peculiar creature spends his days hunched over his glowing computer screen. The flicker of an outdated monitor bathes his pale, almost translucent skin in an otherworldly glow his only source of light, besides the occasional spark of a microwave heating up yesterday's soggy pizza slice. One must be careful not to confuse this dweller with an ordinary introvert. Oh no. Our basement inhabitant considers himself something of an intellectual titan, a veritable genius with insights on everything from geopolitics to the intricacies of intergalactic warfare, courtesy of his many hours spent playing online strategy games. You might think that a man who has never left his den of despair in years might be somewhat out of touch with reality, but not so. No, dear reader, he is plugged in. He consumes knowledge mostly in the form of clickbait articles, dubious conspiracy theories, and those delightful rabbit holes on the far reaches of the internet where facts go to die. One of the great ironies of our basement dweller's existence is his remarkable ability to opine on matters of race, society, and culture, despite having never actually encountered a person from another culture, or indeed much of the human race at all. The last time he spoke to a human face to face was probably when the delivery man handed over his weekly supply of snacks. Yet in his mind he is a global authority on all things other. With the confidence of a man who has just discovered Wikipedia, he will regale you with his views on race, culture, and how the world has gone made. His profound conclusions are largely based on his keen observations of online forums, YouTube comment sections, and of course memes. The memes. To him, they are not just humorous pictures but gospel truth. A well-placed caption on a picture of a confused cat confirms all his beliefs about the complex nuances of race relations. Who needs actual education or human interaction when you have memes after all? Our basement dweller is not racist. He'll tell you usually in all caps. No, he's just saying what everyone else is thinking, and what is everyone thinking according to him, that the world would be a much better place if people just stopped being so sensitive and woke, whatever that means. He's never quite sure, but he knows it's bad, and he's absolutely certain it's the reason for all of society's problems. And let's not forget his favourite pastime, arguing with strangers on the internet. To the untrained eye, this might look like a sad attempt to engage with others from the comfort of anonymity, but to him it is the ultimate intellectual sparring match. Every keyboard warrior needs a nemesis, and ours is no different. His favourite technique? The artful deployment of all caps to assert dominance in online debates. I am not yelling, I am just right. He declares, while slurping noisily from his can of energy drink, crumbs tumbling down into the folds of his well-worn hoodie. Despite his utter isolation from the world, our dear dweller is a man of big ideas. His mind is constantly whirring with the noise of conspiracy theories and world domination plots. You see, he truly believes that if he could only get everyone to listen to him, he could save the world, or at the very least, his local Wi-Fi connection. He's convinced that the mainstream media, a vague and shadowy entity that he references with great disdain, is hiding the real truth from the public, and only he, from the dim glow of his basement, can see through the lies. But let's take a moment to address his mental state, shall we? You might be tempted to think he's gone a bit mad from spending so much time in isolation, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong. His mind is like a cluttered atom, filled with random facts, half-baked theories, and more than a little paranoia. He's convinced that the government is watching him, though why they would take an interest in his endless hours of browsing obscure subreddits remains a mystery. Nonetheless, he persists, ever vigilant, always ready to shut off his camera at the first sign of surveillance. His sense of superiority knows no bounds. He looks down upon those who leave their homes to go to work, socialise or experience the outside world. Sheepily mutters under his breath, while furiously typing away on his keyboard, the crumbs from his latest snack accumulating at an alarming rate. So he pities those who, in his words, blindly follows society's norms. Meanwhile, he sits in the dim recesses of his lair, steadfastly following the norms of his small online echo chamber, comforted by the fact that others in the same situation agree with everything he says. It's important to note that while his opinions are loud, they are also deliciously uninformed. His thoughts on global issues are drawn from the murkiest corners of the internet, and his understanding of economics, politics, and race relations could rival that of a potato, but not a smart potato, mind you. No, we're talking about a potato that's been left in the back of a cupboard for a few months, slowly growing eyes, sprouting its own little bizarre theories. Our basement dweller's approach to race is particularly enlightening. While he's never actually met anyone of a different race or background, he feels confident enough to comment on how things used to be better. To him, diversity is a concept best discussed from behind a screen, with all the nuance of a sledgehammer. Why can't people just be like me, he wonders aloud, before quickly dismissing the thought, because clearly no one can match his intellectual prowess. All in all, our basement dweller is a tragicomic figure, a man who has the world at his fingertips, but chooses instead to dwell in a self-made prison of ignorance, paranoia, and leftover pizza boxes. He could engage with the world, learn from others, and grow as a person, but why bother? The basement is cosy, the internet is vast, and the real world is just too much effort.